Hi everybody, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface on the beta for the next World of Warcraft expansion Legion. Now, I have totally cleared out the Withered Army Training. I've got every single chest there is available and my army is at the strongest that it can possibly be. So in today's video, I am literally going to do a full clearance of the whole job lot. And there's even a bug with my character, which means I can't bring in the largest complement of troops to start with, which is 20. I can bring in 15 at maximum. But still with that handicap, I'm going to do absolutely everything. So with that, I'm going to talk you through the whole process, what needs to be done where, etc, etc. And let's see what we get to. So, first of all, of course, we speak to First Arcanist Thalisra. She will give me my troops, which comprise now with 2 Berserkers, 2 Mana Stalkers, we've got a Star Caller and a Spell Seer, something like that. That will enable me to see hidden small chests, get myself a little bit of extra gold in the process. And I'm going to attempt, at least here, to do it in a decent time as well. And so I'm pretty much going to be berserking my army as best possible, which means they're going to be doing 75% more damage when they're in this state. The only problem is, of course, it makes them very unpredictable. They start throwing crap everywhere, and unless I bring them back into task, then they can run off and do their own thing. Now, along the way, I'm going to be picking up multiple troops. The very first one is in the first room. These are completely set in random locations. So where you get one week isn't necessarily where you're going to get it another week. You could be fortunate in the placements, as in you can get a few before you get to a trickier area, or, you know, they might just come here and there, and you'll just have to stick with it. So, I'm going to get rid of this Wraith, but this is not the direction which I'm going to go down. And I'm going to bring my army back together, because we're going to go here, because this sealed door requires 2 Berserkers to open up. So, if you've got 2 Berserkers, which I now have, you can go grab them, and inside this room, there's a bunch of those volatile wraiths. Now, every single chest has been got, so there are no chests for us to go for in this area. This is purely now for score. So, the point of the Withered Army Training appears to be, at least, is you get yourself to a position where your army is really, really strong, and then suddenly you start to reap the benefits from it. Because there are buffs which you pick up which increase the damage that your army does by 25%. There are buffs which increase the protection that you get. The health that they get, the troops, increases by 25%, so they can take more hits. There's another item which prevents your troops from running away from battle. And then you get the additional troops, the Berserkers, which are a lot stronger than regular troops. The Mana Ragers, which are ranged casters, which again, a lot stronger than your other troops, etc. So you can improve your army that way, but not only improve it, make it much, 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 much stronger. So that room's now totally cleared out. Got myself a couple more of the troops as well, so up to 18. You can always check on the health of your troops by just scrolling over. So here, 85%, and I don't want to go too far away from my army. If you go too far away from your army, then they can start to run. Now, I've had multiple questions about different specs being more preferred for the Withered Army Training. And there seems to be a bit of a concern from healers saying, well, this is really stacked up against healers, isn't it? Because, you know, we don't do that much damage, and it's all kind of, you know, if you get attacked by the main mob and all this kind of stuff, then surely we're going to get crucified a lot quicker than other troops. Well, the simple thing is, each spec, whether it be tank, healer, DPS, actually has their own plus and minuses. DPS obviously can do good damage in quick time, but at the same point, DPS don't have anything that can heal their troops. So if their troops get into trouble, if their troops start taking damage, there's nothing really they can do. They can just kind of go through the fighting process, and then if they're fortunate enough, the troop will survive. If they're not fortunate, the troop will eventually die. Tanks are in a slightly better position, that tanks can try and get as much of the aggro from the mobs that we're attacking as possible. In the same breath, though, again, tanks cannot heal, so tanks will not be able to protect any of the troops, and the troops will organically die off depending on how much damage they take. Healers have a lot more control over how many troops they have. And bearing in mind that your troops are doing the bulk of the damage in this scenario, not you, because when you hit that mayhem and they start doing 75% more damage, they're the ones that are doing all the big hits. So with a healer, you can actually keep your army alive by heals. You can target the army, you can heal up the army. No, there aren't any raid frames or anything like that at the moment that you can specifically target them. You're going to have to kind of go through the troops as best you can. But at least you can heal them up. Once you've targeted a troop, they can be physically healed up by yourself. So healers, you do have a perk. Every class has a perk. And healers are no different. So at least it kind of alleviates that trouble. And it shows that this scenario can work for everybody. It's all about managing really your mayhem. If you have interrupts, a lot of the bigger mobs have abilities which, if they're not interrupted, they can go through, cause quite a bit of damage. So healers do have interrupts, or they have access to interrupts. So if they can time those correctly, they're going to be just as viable as anybody else. So this is all about score, as I've mentioned. This is no longer about going for chests. This is no longer about going for buffs for my army. It's just complete and utterly about the score that I get at the top, how quickly I can do stuff, and what we'll get at the end of it. Now, last week, when I did this, and I did a full clearance, I think I racked up around about 600 in score. Just over 600. And as yet, I haven't received any epic items from this scenario that I can personally use. Now, I have heard that epic items can drop. Whether or not those people were being genuine or just dicking around, do not know. But it would be interesting to see if you really push the timer, if you can hopefully get a bit of RNG luck, get yourself an epic item. Also, what item level would it be? Would it scale to the kind of item level that you are as a character, or is it just going to have a base item level based on the scenario itself? So that's quite an interesting thing that we can look at as well. So you can see I am literally just going through packs upon packs, mollering everything in sight. My army is very, very strong indeed. Up to 22 troops now, because I'm constantly getting the extra troops on display. So that's 7 troops so far I've managed to pick up along the route, and they've got a health of an average. You can have some down at like 10%. This is all an average. But you've got an average of 64%. So I'm probably going to lose a couple of troops relatively soon. Now, of course, every time you pick up a new troop, it bumps up the average, because that new troop that you pick up, as we're just about to do here, has 100% health. So when this one turns the army to 23, there you go. My average has gone up by 2%, but that still doesn't stop those guys that are on about probably 10, 20% health having that. So this is this room now completely cleared out. We're going to go into the depths and into Falanar with a score of 247. So far, so good. Just got a couple of things, I think, to pick off here. And then we're on the way. Just in case some people are wondering what this, like, purple X is that comes out of my character and zooms away from my character and comes back. That's actually a trinket. That's actually a damage trinket, which I have. And the purple lines damage everything in its pathway when it spreads out. And then when it comes back, it damages everything again when it comes back. So it's a really good trinket, which I picked up. I think I got it from one of the Mythic Plus dungeons, which I did. So things like that always help as well, especially when you've got massive amounts of AoE, because when you start to come into certain areas, my goodness me, you're just going to be AoEing like an absolute trooper. Frost DK's probably going to have a field day. Havoc Demon Hunter's going to have a field day because just we've got AoE coming out of every orifice as well. Didn't even have to use Mayhem there. Just kind of went through it nice and easy. Now, this is where we get into when I say slightly trickier situation, it would have been a slightly trickier situation a few weeks ago before I got the 25% damage increase. Because this is the area where we can now start to pull Dro. And Dro is the mini-boss which has the key which will allow us to complete the Withered Army Training. We can go through the door which he's locked off, and then if we clear everything out there, go through a couple of nasty mini-bosses, then we'll actually be able to complete the full scenario. There's another Withered Exile. This is going to take our army up to 25. And Dro can pop out anywhere in this vicinity. If I quickly bring up the map, he can literally bring out any room here and all the way across. He's a pretty nasty bugger. And there he is. He's just come into the fray now. So I have mayhemed the army. So the army's now doing 75% extra damage. I've gone into Metamorphosis. So I'm now leeching 100% every time I do damage, which means I am healing myself for every single piece of damage to which I'm doing, which is fantastic. So that is a great plus for me, especially against mini-bosses. And then smash everything that we can here. And then bring the army back together. Keep it under control. And look here. There is another Withered Exile just hiding away. So let's grab you. 2. Taking the army to 26. I still haven't lost a troop yet. Wow. And they've got an average of 63% health. So that's going really well. Bring the army back down. Let's pull this guy and go mayhem again. Absolutely crush it. Bring the army back together. And then grab the other one. When they're all together, mayhem once more. Smash, smash, smash. Now, because I have defeated Dro, I can open all the doors here now and progress through. There's a mini-boss at the end there. That's not a mini-boss there. But you can see there's more troops. 1, 2, 3. At least 3 troops which I can grab in this room to bolster the army, which will take me nearly to 30, which is pretty crazy. You got anything along those kind of lines, you're going to crush this scenario. You really are. You're going to absolutely smash through it. So it's just a matter about how quickly you're going to do it in, what score you're going to do it in. I'm up to... Now, we can do this. I can actually do this. Even though I haven't got Metamorphosis available, I'm actually going to go I-Beam, which will give me meta for a few seconds, interrupt, and then when I've interrupted him, my troops are pretty much going to do the finishing off in that stun period. Interrupt that, down it goes. Bring all the troops back together again. Another little mini chest there. So all these small chests that you can see, they're being picked up by my Spellseer. Or whatever it's called. Something like that anyway. So that just give me little amounts of gold on the way. And our army is now up to 29 after that. Score 355. So my goal is definitely to hit over 600. That is the goal of this. And look at the look at the size of this army now. It's crazy. Okay. So the next thing we've got an even tougher room coming up next. If I just clear out the small mobs here, and then we have another little chest. Grab you. Thank you very much. Just kill these two while we're here as well. Just to prevent any little extras from coming in. And I think that'll do. This room here is pretty nasty early doors. You want to be very, very cautious indeed when you get in here. So, I've mayhemed the army. We're bringing in quite a few things now. Gonna drop my glaives. Picking off the small ones first. Picking off the small ads that are coming in first of all. Because if we can wreck them down pretty quickly. Let's just do some interrupting. Look at this. And all of this really is because that 25% extra boost, which I got from one of the items in here, from one of the 5-person chests. The 5-person chest, people, very, very important indeed. I know it's very tempting to just go for the 10-person chests, but the 5-person chests have some really nice little buffs for the group. That's the ones that have the 25% extra damage. That's the one that has the 25% extra health. That's the one that has the prevention from running away, or the increased prevention from running away from the rest of the group. So those 5-person chests are just as valid to go for as the 10-person ones. The 10-person ones are the ones that have like the Berserker, the Mana Rager, the Spell Seer, the Star Caller, blah, 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 blah. They're the ones that have those in. And you can also find potentially some like artifact power in there and things like that, which don't necessarily help you out in this scenario. So I think we've got one more troop over there, and that's that room cleared up. We're up to 450 score. Now that is awesome, because what I'm going to do now is I'm actually not going to go through Dro's door. I'm going to clear out this corridor, and then I'm going to go into the central bit, and we're going to clear out the central section. And what we up to? Troops. 29 troops. So we actually lost a couple of troops. I think 3 troops in that room. But that's okay, because we got 3 back, and the health would be slightly better. There you go. The average health is actually up to 73. And those small chests, great for getting just like 10, 12 bits of gold, you know, which, let's face it, isn't wonderful. But if you get yourselves those Blood of Sargeras, those Blood of Sargeras, really, really valuable. Really, really valuable indeed. They're a crafting region, soulbound. You need it for artifact quests. There's Dro's door. Not going to go there yet. You need it to deal with your artifact quest line. You need it to deal with the Obliterum stuff. So, yeah, the more Blood of Sargeras you manage to grab, the better, believe me. And try and keep a stockpile of them if possible, because you're going to need some at a later date. So here I am. I'm moving into the bottom section. I'm doing it the cock-handed way round. There's a couple of way rounds to do this. I could have, before I went into those couple of tougher rooms, I could have just gone down the stairs and gone into this area here. But I'm going to open this door. And this door here, when you open this one up, this is just a party room, because you can just get chests and 3 troops in here. That is it. There's nothing to fight here. So when you enter this room, and it looks like this is one of the rooms that requires X amount of troops to open up, or X something to open up. So whatever the criteria of this room, I clearly have more than enough. So we're back up to 33 troops before we can go into Dro's area. Oh, we've got an invasion. Evasion, even. We've got an invasion rocking. And up to 500 points. So this is going really well for score. So it looks like that 600 is not going to stick around, because we've got quite a bit still left to do. So smash through everything that we possibly can. Get every webbed victim, because yes, it could have a withered in it, but at the same time, you could find yourself an extra troop. So always do those webs. And if you kill the guys inside, still a couple of little bits of score. Oh, that's taking us up top. Don't want to go up top, ladies. Want to stay down below. So smash all them. Get ourselves another troop. It's going to take us to 34. There is actually a webbed up there. Now, this is something I've actually not done. So let's do this. I've not gone up. Now, I don't want to venture out of the scenario. I've got to be very careful when I do go up top, because I don't want to venture out of the scenario. But let's just go up the crawl web and let's see how far we can get up here, if at all. No. Okay, that's fine. But there is a webbed victim up there, which I might be able to hit at range. Can I? Nope, it's just going to have to stay there. Sod it. We're up to 34 troops. And still clear these little guys out, because they can eat away at your army. So although they don't give you any points, they eat away at your army. They knock down the health by a little bit. That's not what you need. It's not what you want. So make sure they're got rid of. And in actual fact, one of the rooms that we're going to come up to very soon, there's going to be a shit ton of them. And you have to kill them to clear everything out. Otherwise, curtains for your army. Which is 34 strong right now. So there you go. You see where we come back up? So we're going to go across now to Dro's door, where it's locked up at the end here. The sealed door. Up to 564 score. So doing very well for score. Definitely going to smash that 600. Whoop. There you go. You see us. One of the slight negatives about a Demon Hunter in this, especially with Havoc, is the fact that Havoc's mastery is +% chaos damage plus movement speed. So every time I get mastery, I move quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker. My army, of course, is just moving at regular normal speed. So if I get too far away, it's going to cause slight problems like that. So here we are. We've got another room with a few troops that I can get. This door won't open up until that mob is defeated. Let's grab this additional troop here as my army decide to just go smashing some stuff in a corner. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go balls deep. I'm just going to go straight in. Just going to go mad for this one. Mad for this. Let's just do everything. So fighting this little mini boss is going to start bringing everything into the fight. So the smaller ads are going to come in. The eggs are going to get hatched because my army's going a bit nuts. Which one's running away? Where's he running away? I think I'm going to... Oh, there he is. I missed him. I lost him. That's a shame. So one of them ran away. Let's bring all my troops back together again. Considering they have gone a bit crazy. And then let's berserk them again. Once I've got them together. So this is the room with all the small little bits. There you go. We've already gone. Here we go. Let's grab him. Gotcha. So if one tries to run away, that's what you need to do. You need to catch back up to them. And then click onto them. And bring them back into the fray. We're still doing alright. Still got 31 troops. So this is by no means a bad thing. And there's some troops which you can pick up here in this room as well. But do recall, you're not getting any points for these small lads, but they've got to be got rid of. Otherwise, they're just going to eat away at the army. So they still have to be dispatched. So let's just grab this additional guy here. He can bolster the army for a wee bit. And then, I think that is this room sorted. So let's grab this troop. So 604 score, which is awesome. That door's now open. And this is the final stretch of the scenario. We've got a couple of mini bosses to kill before we get to the end. But this is where we can just now pick up 2 or 3 troops on the way to the next room without anything attacking us. Now, these ones always seem to be in the exact same positions. They don't seem to move around at all. They seem to be there and here. But that's going to take us to 35. Bear in mind, I started with 15 because of the bug that I have. If you start this with... There's the third. If you start this with a full complement of 20 troops, then you're going to have 5 more than I've got right now. Now, we've got enough here. I'm going to just go for it. I'm going to berserk it, and we're just going to wreck the Elf Breaker. Now, I'm not, he says, going to use my Metamorphosis. I'm going to leave that for the final boss at the top. The Spider Boss. Because this is where we get a consistent spread of spiderlings coming in now. We cannot prevent these spiderlings from stopping until we kill the Spider Boss, who's the final boss here. So you've just literally got to suck it up a wee bit now. Grab the extra troops. Good to see Elfbreaker got absolutely annihilated. We're on 625 score, which is pretty darn decent. Again, these spiderlings just going to be coming in now. So you've got to try and keep your army together so they don't start running away. But at the same time, you're still going to be taking care of these spiders en route. So if I go into just I-beam mode, clear a little pathway, and then we can start going up. And then there's going to be some more troops that you can grab here. So there you see, the army's just beginning to spread out a wee bit. Come back together. Come back together. This is a bit of a tricky one, this. Because the spiders attacking them. Let's drop the glaives. Let's drop my war glaives there. There you go. Okay, so now let's start picking up these extra troops. And then we're going to push up the stairs. And that's where the next boss is going to be. While in the meantime, still dealing with the spiderlings that are coming down. Now, you can get additional little presents in here. I got a pet. I got maybe 1 or 2 pets from this scenario. It would have been nice if there was a mount, you know, that had a low drop chance. That would have been a good thing for people to constantly and consistently still do this for. Because after a while, people might say, well, I've got exalted, I've completed my army. It doesn't give humongous amounts of gold, so I'll stop doing this. Whereas, let's go for it, final boss. Whereas before, if you got something to go for, like a mount, then people can get excited and just say, you know, well, is this the week? Keep this on farm, and then it can be one of those rare mounts that anybody, even non-raiders, can get their grubby mitts on. So there we go. Smash out the last couple of things. 641 score. Here we go. Couple of small chests to loot here. Let's get them first. Zoink. And then zoink. 2 Blood of Sargeras. Nice. And then speak to Telemancer Okuleth. And that will end the scenario. So let's see what we got. We're going to have a big fat chest waiting for us. When we get here, there we go. What's we got inside? Ooh, okay. So we got 4 Blood of Sargeras, Falanar Orb, Arcane Remnant of Falanar, and Arcane Tablets ×4, plus 100 Ancient Mana. So that's 3,600 Artifact Power, 25 Rep, and then another 400 Rep on top of that. But no gear. Nothing really special for me that time. Feels bad, man. But that is how you completely clear out absolutely every single solitary room in the Withered Army training scenario with your army at full power, even though it has 5 troops down. Absolutely crushed it. So I hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel. Follow me on social media and Twitch for live streaming. Links, they're in the description down below. And I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care, everybody. Bye-bye.